What is up, guys and girls? So let me just show you here quickly that my tripcaster is almost full with fire, because all of these guys have a natural weakness towards fire, the corrupted machines that is. So the first couple of zones are going to be level 15s with some scrappers, watchers and grazers and stuff like that. So the first 3 or 4 missions, or first 3 or 4 corruption zones, are fairly straightforward, and you can do them stealth or you can do them loud, but later on you won't have a choice but to do them loud, and it gets very interesting. Some very intense battles, awesome battles near the end of this video as well. I wish you could redo these sites, because you can come back later with better equipment and stuff like that and try and better yourselves, but it seems like once it's done, it's done. Maybe there'll be some DLC or something. So like I said before, these are pretty straightforward, and I will chirp up at the end of this round. Quick note is that there are shortcuts in the description to each of the corrupted zones if you want to skip ahead to the bigger battles. I had to make a little cut there because my phone rang, but not to worry. We take out this last guy, and you can slide and stab him like that. But not wise if he isn't the last guy, because you might get detected. Okay, let's get these easier ones out of the way. Next up we have some longlegs. No, sorry, these are the grazers. Also level 15 required. Or recommended, I think it is. Grazers. Now again, these guys can be all stealth, because the environment around them lets you do so. But I just kind of had fun with it, and if it went loud, it went loud. If not, doesn't matter.
Those machines. You can see the corruption coming off them like smoke.
That's right.
Clear them out.
So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit here. As you can see, I've gone down to level 16. So I did the first one this morning and this one a good week ago or so. And these are all done on very hard mode. Don't think I mentioned that, but still more of a challenge. And of course you can't control the corrupted machines. Would make a lot of these way easier. But when you have to go face to face with 2 rock breakers on the ground, it gets very interesting, and I absolutely love the tactic that I came up with. And obviously there's going to be more tactics coming around, but you'll see in a bit. Just create an entire fucking minefield of tripwires and bombs and stuff like that. Okay, so that was terribly done, but it's done. Let us move on.
This poison seems almost to eat away at metal.
Okay, now these guys are just watchers, I think. Watchers and scrappers, that is. And this is still level 15 recommended, and it is the last of the level 15 recommended. So again, pretty much the same thing. The environment lets you use the grass, so you can do it stealthily, or you can take it gung-ho and go to town on them. But being fairly early, I'm still on 21 level over there.
Here they come. Corrupted
I
watchers.
thought I'd be safer and just get it done with the stealth.
gotta do what I have to.
Okay, that's that one done. Now this one, I must admit, is fairly messy. I didn't quite know what I was doing, or now watching the video I didn't quite know what I was doing or what I was thinking. But in the end I got there, and there were just a couple of things that I could have done better. I could have laid a much bigger trap area on this upper level with all the little foot traps as well as the tripwires. But being level 21, I was still wet behind the ears when it came to the corruption zones. And
Damn, no more of these.
if you use that tripwire while he's walking, he doesn't seem to know where you are. So you can actually put it under his feet. So yeah, I probably shouldn't have used the strike there. I should have set up more traps. Laid this whole area with traps actually, before actually doing the initial strike. But I went with it and decided to go loud, and got there in the end. So now when it comes to the bellowbacks there, I should definitely be using the hunt arrow with the tear ability and not necessarily the fire, because the weakness to that back on his back over there is actually the penetration, the tear, the hunter arrow, and not the standard. I think it's the hardpoint arrow, yeah, which is the best one. I'm not even sure if I had the hardpoint arrow at this stage. Most likely did. So I played most of the game, at least half of the game, and then decided to restart on the most difficult setting so I could do these guides, and tons of fun doing it. But yeah, again, being a low level, I should have just looked at the screen, see what his weakness was, which is what happens pretty much on all of the next zones. See there, you want to use the penetration one, hunter bow there, and try and pierce that back. Also, by this time I had the triple arrow queue up, so 3 shots in one, each arrow, doesn't matter what you're firing, and it's quite effective. See, that's what I should have been doing the whole time. It takes way more damage, but it's always good just to have them on fire, because they do obviously burn and lose damage that way as well. Hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. This game is absolutely fucking amazing. I spend half my time in photo mode. It's so irritating actually. There's some pictures that you just have to take. Okay, so you can see he's about to pop. Looks like a massive tick now that I think about it. green flame bursting tick. Okay, well, he's tick its moment. I couldn't find this last guy anyway, so I'm just going to skip ahead to when he knocked me down, actually. And he was the last one to finish that zone.
To cleanse this valley of corruption. Time to see if the Karja fort will let me pass over the mountains.
These guys are absolutely brutal, these long legs. When they notice you, they just full on attack like fucking giant chickens they are. And again, I would have done things maybe a little bit differently. I did set up a bit of a trap yard. But again, from this angle, I probably shouldn't have been in this building. But they can't seem to get to me, but they will be able to hit me with the flame attack, so gotta be careful with that. I just can't be close enough to put traps and stuff down, so I should have started this attack further back,
Set it on something
like I
closer.
do with the next one. And always, without a doubt, use the tear blast arrow first. Don't know why I used the fire one here, but do not use the fire. You want to get rid of their components and their abilities as quickly as possible. So the tear blast or tear blast, whichever way you want to pronounce it. I've been saying tear blast to sound better. But yeah, use the tear blast, damn it. And that will take away their armor, take away their components, and just make them more vulnerable in general. One tear blast arrow here will just absolutely destroy them and make the fire more effective. But I learn. So this is actually the first of the level 20 zones, and there's only 2 level 20s. 2 level 23s, 127, 132 and 134. So these guys are just begging to have their armor stripped, but for some reason I didn't, so again, tear blast definitely the way to go. Alright, next up we have the Tramplers, Longlegs and Watchers. This is also a level 20 recommended. Getting into the west side of things. So at the start of most of them I like to tag them. And now I do my first...
Time to prepare.
Exactly, time to prepare. My first proper attack. As you can see, my level's now 45, more than double than I was before. Also, some the wiser on how to do these. And again, everyone's going to be different. Your character build might be different, but This is the way I like to do it. I like to set up an entire minefield of tripwires and those, let's call them mini hot air balloons. So just getting my tripcaster out there with a lot of fire damage attached to it. Now they have a tendency to kind of zigzag towards you, so if I had to shoot one of those right now, there's a good chance they'll go to my left or my right. So you kind of do the tripwires around you in a U-shape, and then you just kind of sit in the middle of it, and then they all come running and they all come dying. So there we go, the tear blast. You want to get that guy's armor down, expose him, and I should have actually got 2 shots off there. You're able to load 3 more arrows and shoot again, but I think at this stage I wanted to see if I could remain stealthy, just as a tester. Very willing to go loud, but I just wanted to see if it was possible. I'm sure it could be. You just have to move from shadow spot to shadow spot, or grassy grass spot, and you should be able to do it, but also might be a bit boring and it takes a bit longer. So I like to combine the stealth with the action. So again, at this stage I just wanted to see if I was stealthy, and I also happen to be in the market for a turkey skin for my last upgrade pouch.
Just go about your business.
Okay, so he seems to be nonchalant about me at the moment. So let's get another tear blast in there. So it didn't say component removed, so you probably could have done with another one. But I was being very sneaky with these traps. And then this is where everything goes tits up. I get my first face-to-face battle with the Trampler, and realized I didn't have the right gear. So the Shield Weaver obviously has its own armor as well, so it'll absorb some of it. And the Strike should actually knock these guys down as well, and it does. That's also an upgrade, it doesn't come el natural. So you can get an attack towards him, a critical strike, and another heavy attack. So 3 attacks on him when he's down, if you're lucky. But again, with a tear blast, I want to try and get his horns out of the way, and then expose his heart in the middle. He's toast. With most of these guys' attacks, if you're running in one direction and they do a ranged attack at you, just automatically go the other direction, because they will lead you and they will hit you spot on. Now I wasn't really up to taking on 3 long legs simultaneously, so I wanted to get some more damage on these guys before I came out of this grass area. So luckily they separated a little bit there. Yeah, it's electricity they're weak to on their backs, but fire weakness is everywhere, so my ammo isn't, well, my weapon isn't built for the electricity, so I should have just stuck with the fire. As you can see, not much damage there, so I decided to go back to the trappery and probably the fire. Now they're both stunned there, which is fantastic. Yeah, so heavy strike, critical strike, heavy strike. And also on my outfit I've got 44% corruption resistance, so that also helps a lot, and I saved those out the entire game until I got my most hardcore outfit. But obviously not on the Weaver one. The Weaver one can't be upgraded, so I used that one until I got the Weaver, because the Weaver is obviously the best one, and the way it absorbs damage is just awesome. Okay, these 2 are nearly done. Now I didn't realize what was hitting me. It was so loud, and then these guys came out of left field, or right field in this case, just to throw them in the mix. And I thought, well, I'm not going to cut it out because they're just part of the battle, so fuck it. 2 down. And I realized there was one more behind me. He was just shooting me in the back of the head. Oh so daintily, the bastard. Okay, toodles, motherfucker. Okay, back to the task at hand. And it's pretty much done. But I am short 1 trampler. So I'm going to speed this up. Run, Aloy, run. Load up my weapons, the tear blast, and now you can see the damage this tear blast does. 3 of them. To this guy. Almost kills him. Because I got on the underside of him there.
Uh-oh, spotted.
And then light it. So yeah, takes off massive damage, 200 a time there. And he's gone. Okay, this one we have Stalkers. Now these guys can be bastards as well, so I struggled a little bit on this. And again, I should have gone with more traps. So wherever you shoot the first guy from, like where I'm sitting now, I should have just had traps all around me. And this was the first one I did this morning, so again, didn't quite know the best ways to do it. But what I do know is that you got to get a tear blast in there, to get their stealth unit disabled. Because their stealth, they suck, you can't track them, and yeah, not good.
Gotcha.
So 3 components moved there, or 4, 5, 6 is it? I don't know. But anyway, I don't think he's going to be able to stealth. And as you can see, there's a couple more floating around here. And you can see them for a second, and then they're just gone. So the best thing to do now is to actually throw a rock. Little skip there. I thought maybe a proximity mine, but they'll just go off on their own. So I threw a proximity bomb, and then a stone, and then this happened. Ding ding! There he is. So you get to know kind of where he is, because it is stealthy. And I just finished that Redmore stage, and that's why that chick is with me there. Didn't expect her to stay. She said she was heading back to camp, or Meridian. But yeah, I would have done things a little bit differently. I would have set up way more traps around me. Should have shot right there. But yeah, more traps around me, tripwires, as well as just bombs. And fire is always good. They have a natural weakness to it, but as per usual, things go a bit tits up in this circle. I'm just going to let this play out, and I'll catch you at the end of this zone. Alright, that's that done. Next up we have Scrappers and GLINTHHAWKS. A level 23. Now something really bad happens here because you're shooting at things in the air, so you're aiming up. The problem with this is your camera goes behind the shrubbery on the ground. The shrubbery is on the ground and you can't see dick fuck. So it's really, really unfortunate because we're trying to shoot the guys in the air and all this will come into light very, very soon. So again, might be a little bit messy, but I looked for areas where there was no grass or long grass and it's just not possible. So I just kind of went through it, took out as many of the scrappers as I could before actually attacking the birds, or all the scrappers if I could, and then assaulting on the GLINTHHAWKS. And again, the tear blast is the way you want to go for first attacks all the time, and then the rope caster, 2 rope casters or 2 shots of the rope caster will pin down a GLINTHHAWK, and then you can move in for the criticals and heavy attacks. So again, I'm going to let this play through and I'll catch you at the end of this zone. Okay, so this is the level 27 recommended. in the far northwest corner. And this is when I do my first proper minefield, absolute hectic minefield with as many things as I could put out, and anything I didn't put out, or didn't get used at least, can be collected again with that perk. So waste not. But I go absolutely balls on this area, doing a complete circle, well, not a circle, but a U around me. And then you fight in this area and running towards your own traps to get them to run towards it as well. But these Ravagers can be very, very, very sneaky. And you want to get their weapons off their backs ASAP with the tear blast arrow, triple shot. And yeah, because they can really cause a lot of trouble. And with that fire BELLOWBACK doesn't really help either. So I took a couple of attempts, but in the end I just did this crazy minefield and it did work. Now you don't want him to see you. You don't want him to walk towards this minefield yet, because you want to get one of the Ravagers with a tear blast, removing his cannon in this area so you can use it. I use it at the later stage. I wanted to see if I could do it without using it, but I finished off the fire BELLOWBACK at the end of the zone with it. So yeah, I'm going to let this play through. Remember, tear blast first, and just watch the shit go down now. There he is. It's down. I was stoked to finish that one. It was giving me a bit of trouble. But now comes my funnest one yet. This battle was so fucking intense, and I just wish I could do it again, to be completely honest, and see if I can better myself. But taking on two of these rock breakers and I think a Ravager joins in a little bit later, but I did exactly the same thing. Just a massive field of tripwires and trip bombs, which I'm going to set up now.
And done.
Okay, looks like we're almost ready here. So again, same tactic is to, well, my tactic was to try and get their dig ability off them. So obviously the tear blast arrows at their feet is where their diggers are. And if you look at the bio menu, it'll tell you where they are. As you can see, they are glowing a bit. But for some reason I couldn't get the ability to stop. I shot all my tear blast arrows at their feet, and also the tail. There's also a digger on the tail. And through the whole battle they just kept on digging, so I had to switch up my strategy and just go for the fire damage and get as much of the armor off as possible. As you can see, it starts. these things I probably should have been using the tear arrow, or the puncture arrow at least, splitting, and that'll actually make that explode and cause quite a big explosion. Eventually I got him with the piercing arrow to the belly and got my trophy at the same time. Now there is one more battle. I did this in the incorrect order. So this should have been the last one. In this one we're going to have behemoths and chargers. Crazy combination of enemies. So I came in through the side there, as I showed you, the little gap in the mountain. and I pulled a little sneaky on this one. I wanted to see if I could stay up top here out of their reach. They do have a ranged attack, but it is avoidable up here. And again, this was like a tester, which kind of just worked out. So not as fun as the last battle, but as usual, do the tear blaster, get them vulnerable, and whip out that fire. The canisters as well can be pierced, so you can go that route if you want. And again, I should have put some more traps around me, which I'll do in a little while, but I should have done it first. Take out those charges and stuff like that. So this is the ranged attack he uses, and he gets me the first time, but I don't think he hits me with it again. And again, I know I said it before, but I'd like to retry this one and actually go head to head with him on the ground. But for the sake of making it as easy as possible, we're going to stay up here for now. So again, the same strategy as normal. Tear blasters, make them vulnerable, and then hit them with the fire. And they will run away out of distance if you don't come down, or if they know they can't hit you. So you can get them with a couple of tear blasts to reduce their armor and stuff. And as you can see now, they've kind of gone out of range. And if you manage to get an arrow or two at them, they will come running. And I think I use this time now to set up some traps. And I think my goal here was to take out one of them from up here, and then head down and do a fairer battle one-on-one with a fucking behemoth. So I think that is what I do. No, it is what I do. So again, I want to try the first one, get some traps up here, and then get them all to come back and create some chaos.
Low and quiet does it. Oh boy.
Alright, so the one's down. Now I'm going to head down after burning these couple of guys and take on this guy one-on-one. Mano al Machino, something like that. And he is at his end now. And that's going to bring us to the end of the video, guys. I hope you found it informative, and I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. I know it took me a while to bring out a Horizon video, but it was worth the wait. And you can get your trophy all zones cleared, and it can be done on easy, but I thought hard, why not? So again, guys, please like if you like, and subscribe if you really like, and I'll catch you on the next one.